Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. I hope you're doing well. Oh, look like the checks aren't going to be flowing in Minnesota among the Somalian people anymore. Donald Trump is freezing all of the federal funding they've been getting. So it looked like they have ran out of luck. So the gravy train is over. They will not be getting any more funding as far as childcare is concerned. And I know they're working on freezing all of the other assets because the governor is he is full of crap and unreliable. So it looked like Donald Trump is going to step in and he's going to take control over all that money that has been stolen. So I'm sure there's going to be reaction over the next few days from the Somalians talking about how unfair it is. Boy, I tell you what, these people don't take accountability for nothing. All they do is keep getting on video talking about not all that's irrelevant. You know why? Because if you look at the really overall statistics in Minnesota, do you know the majority of them don't work? So if the majority of you are not working, how are you surviving? You're surviving off of scam money. So it tells me it is a huge portion of them that are using scam money to survive on. So nobody cares about all of that anymore. The bottom line is nearly $9 billion were stolen. And they said this is the biggest heist in history. So their scamming made history in America. So, ladies and gentlemen, and y'all, you Somalians need to get off of this mess about somebody's jealous of you. Ain't nobody jealous of your big light bulb head. You can get past that real fast. Nobody who's jealous of a scammer. Many of you are going to go to jail. If Donald Trump already froze the funding, that means jail is coming next. So many of you that don't get out on your own, you're going to end up behind bars. And they're not playing about that. They are not playing. They're going to put a lot of you Somalis behind bars. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Oh, before we get started, I just want to give you a reminder over on Etsy. This is the wrong one. It's the wrong one. Hold on. Let's see here. I don't want that. I don't want that. Sorry, y'all. I hit something by accident. All right. Let me go to my community tab. This one right here. Okay, got the right one now. Okay, so just a reminder, there's a small, just a few days, a sale that started today, and it will end on the 2nd of January. So you get 30% off the entire store. Now, the only thing I don't have listed right now, the Botana oil will be listed, but the hair oil I don't have listed. I have tons of hair oil too. I got a lot made, but I can't list it because there's a delay in them sending my labels. So I may not get my labels for it until the beginning of next week. So I'm hoping it will arrive on Saturday, but if not, it won't be until the beginning of next week. I just got the notification a few hours ago that it's on its way but delayed. So much for that. So, everything else you will be able to get at 30% off up until the 2nd of January. All right. Okay. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
And have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it.
Breaking news, the Trump administration just announced it's raising $185 million a year in childcare funds to Minnesota and demanding a statewide audit. That money was supposed to help 19,000 American kids, including toddlers, including infants. And here's the line that hit people hardest. Every dollar stolen by scammers is a dollar stolen from those children. The feds say they've had enough, so they're rolling out 3 major moves to crush these open fraud schemes. First, they've activated a defense system for all ACF childcare payments nationwide. Starting today, no payment goes out unless there's proof, receipts, photo evidence, documentation before the money leaves. Second, a formal demand letter has been signed and sent to Governor Walz. They're ordering a full 360-degree review of these centers. Attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, inspections, everything. Third, they just opened a dedicated fraud hotline and email on childcare.gov. Parents, providers, the public, they want you to report it, and they made it clear. ACF expects every state to meet the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability. Minnesota is not exempt. They say they're committed to holding people accountable, no matter the level, no matter the position. If you are involved in defrauding the American people, because this isn't just fraud, this is stealing from babies and calling it business. Do you support this?
No more money being sent to Minnesota for childcare. HHS announced that they're freezing federal childcare payments being sent to Minnesota amid allegations of fraud. The move affects $185 million that Minnesota receives for childcare payments. Federal officials are now requiring detailed documentation, such as receipts, licenses, and attendance records.
I just want to say, because of the Somalians, the way childcare funding will be handled in this country is going to change dramatically. So even if you're in another state and y'all have no kind of scamming and you are running a legitimate business, everything's going to change now, so that people aren't just renting out empty stores and claiming that they have X amount of children in this location and they're collecting money from this government. So now everybody's going to be looked at with a fine-tooth comb because of what these Somalians did. So you can still get funding, but you're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops in order to get the funding. So Somalia, this is what you did to the whole country. That one act in Minnesota now is making life difficult for legitimate business owners all over the country with daycare centers. So there you go. All right, so let me just move beyond this because, I mean, I think her video is good, but the mic is it's hard to hear what she's saying. All right.
Are now exploring nationwide fraud schemes involving taxpayer money. Good evening, I'm Mary Nom.
And I'm Preston Phillips. Tonight we're following the claims of widespread fraud in the state of Minnesota, from daycare centers to healthcare facilities. One social media influencer's video is raising questions about Somali-run businesses and taxpayer dollars. Just this afternoon, the Department of Health and Human Services posted this video to X and announced it's freezing all child care payments to the state of Minnesota.
I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment.
The Trump administration has announced they are freezing all child care payments to the state of Minnesota after Nick Shirley's disinformation campaign. In this statement they released, they cited that reason, saying, "You have probably read the serious allegations that the state of Minnesota has funneled millions of taxpayer dollars to fraudulent daycares across Minnesota over the past decade." Governor Tim Walz even called it out, saying this is Trump's long game. "We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along." He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans. Tim Walz is absolutely right. The fraud cases being referenced are not new and they've not been hidden. They've been known about for years, investigated for years, and actively prosecuted for years now, including dozens of charges and convictions already on the books. What is new is the political framing, which has been aggressively amplified by the entire conservative media sphere. He repackaged this entire case as a sudden scandal, trying to claim that Minnesota has been hiding fraud when the exact opposite is true. Now, unfortunately, this disinformation campaign is being used to justify freezing childcare funding. This is going to impact families, parents, and providers who rely on those payments to keep these centers open. Cracking down on fraud and protecting essential programs that are legitimate can happen at the same time. Freezing all funding does neither of those things.
Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping
Boy, Trump took away that federal funding real quick, huh? No more money for Minnesota, huh? Or is it, hey, no more money for Minnesota, eh? Stop fucking around. Stop fucking around. It's not that difficult. Stop fucking around.
All right, so it looks like we got some movement on the fraud in Minnesota. Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill just posted on X that they are stopping all funding to the child care programs in the state of Minnesota. So this is a good thing. I know it's not the arrests that everybody is looking for, but this is a big step in the right direction. We're going to take the blessings where we can take a blessing, and we're going to see how this goes. So they're taking 3 actions to try to make a change in this situation. The first thing that they're doing is they're going to require a lot more identification and proof and receipts of the needed funds before they send funds to any program in any state. The next thing that they're doing is they are requiring Tim Walz to actually go in and do a comprehensive audit of all of these places that are committing fraud. Obviously, they have not been going to these places at all. I think he should be in a lot more trouble, but hey, if all goes well, he's going to come back with a bunch of nothing and he'll get in more trouble. The last thing that they did is they are setting up a hotline. So they want people to be able to call in their own states and cities and let them know other fraud that they're catching, especially when it concerns daycare. So everybody just be patient, breathe. It's all going to go how it's supposed to go. But this is a big step in the right direction. We're going to take the blessing where we can take the blessing. God bless.
Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade. We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
The Trump administration has frozen all child care payments to Minnesota, not after a court ruling, not after proven fraud, but after a viral YouTube video. HHS says it's shutting off the money because fraud appears to be rampant. Their words. And the trigger was a clip from a conservative influencer claiming daycare centers weren't actually serving kids. So what did the government do? They cut the funding. That funding supports childcare for 23,000 low-income kids in Minnesota, roughly $185 million a year. Gone. Frozen. CBS News checked the same day care centers named in the video. Most have active licenses. They were recently inspected. There were citations, safety, cleanliness, but no evidence of fraud. Yet HHS still froze the funds. Now, every state in the country has to submit receipts and photo evidence just to get childcare money because one state got targeted after a viral accusation. And this comes directly after DHS agents went door to door in Minneapolis, calling it a massive investigation. So let's be clear about who gets hurt first: kids, parents, childcare workers, low income families who rely on these programs to survive. And once again, the fraud narrative is being tied to immigrant communities before the facts are even established. And Minnesota just became the test case for what happens when allegations matter more than evidence.
Yeah, but you know what? This is good. That means they are now taking measures against these Somalians. And it's a shame now that everybody that goes to daycare, they got to now show evidence that they have children there, it's legitimate and all that. So, yeah, Somalians, you claim you are the fabric of this country, which you couldn't possibly be. It's not enough of you here. And number 2, all you did was make life harder for business owners because of all the scamming you've done. It what makes me laugh is you Africans always come here because I don't care what you Somalians say, Somalia is in Africa. So you Africans come here and always make this claim that you're doing better than Black Americans. And then we see all this scamming and all this stuff that you're doing. No, no, you're not. No, you're not. If you gotta commit crimes in order to appear to look better, you're not doing better at all. And again, I said this before. Why can't you do better in your homeland? Why does it take you coming across the ocean to do better somewhere? Do better in your homeland and stop running everywhere. And now y'all right up there with the Nigerians. The Somalians are right up there with the Nigerians as being the most rejected people on the planet. People don't want y'all around. They don't want y'all in their country. And Donald Trump already put a ban. So a lot of people in Somalia right now, even if they were trying to come to America, they can't come now. They can't come here. So you can thank all of your scamming for that. Life is about to get really tough for you Somalians. So if the funding is gone now, the next are the arrest. That's coming next. And I hope you know when they arrest you, they're going to seize all of your assets. All that stolen stuff you got is going to get seized by the government. And they're not going to just seize your property. They're going to get those bank accounts and everything they can get their hands on that y'all have. Your businesses are gone, your personal property is gone, your bank accounts are gone. They're going to grab up everything. Everything. So some of y'all, if you have even a shred of sense, you might want to get your butt the hell up on out of here before it really hits the fan. For real. So that's on them. You didn't have to come here and scam. Y'all always try to make it seem like you come here and you work so hard and y'all ain't working no harder than the next guy. I even heard another African say that in a video yesterday. I was watching and he was talking to Nigerians and he told the Nigerians to stop saying they work hard. They work harder than Black Americans because he said that's not true. Nigerians do not come here and work harder than Black Americans. It is a lie. And he said, and it's also a lie that they're doing better than Black Americans. Black Americans are doing very well for themselves. And I couldn't believe it, but this guy was Nigerian and he was talking to his own people and said that. He told them to stop saying that they are doing better and they work harder than us. He said it is absolutely not true. And I say that for all of you groups, every last one of you. I don't care what part of the world you come from. Y'all do not come here and work harder than us. That's a load of BS, and you should never have gotten away with saying that the way that you did. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. The next live I have coming up is Marjorie, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, her last day, I think, is January 5th in Congress. She resigned. So she is threatening to go on the House floor and give the names of the perpetrators in the Epstein files. And Donald Trump is telling her not to do it because she'd be hurting a lot of his friends. Interesting, Donald Trump, who your friends are. But that's what she is threatening to do. So we will talk about that a little more at 6:45, and I will see you then. Shalom, family.